Welcome to Math 20 video lecture series. In my previous video, sinabi ko na pag-uusapan natin ngayong lecture ang half-angle identities. Pero fake news yon kasi next video pa pala yun. So, pupostpone natin yon. Ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon ay negative angle identities and cofunction identities. Okay, so manggagaling ulit sila sa sum and difference identities. Sabi ko naman sa inyo na super important nito. Okay, so i-derive natin yung mga negative angle identities. Ano may sinasabi ng negative angle identities? So what is cosine negative of theta? Actually, ano lang to, parang pa-shortcut. You can express this one as cosine 0 minus theta, right? And using this one, yung negative, this is cos plus sin. And sine 0 is 0, so wala na tong part na to. And cosine 0 is 1. So, ang answer dito is cosine theta. So, ang moral ng story dito is cosine of negative nung something, pwede mo nang i-omit agad yung negative. Yun yung masaya doon. Okay, so that is one formula. Ano kaya kay sine? Ganun din, sine 0 minus theta. And let us use this one, pero yung negative. So this is sin cos sin. But we know that sine 0 is 0. So wala na ito. Evicted na to. And cosine 0 is 1. So ang sagot is negative sine theta. So, ibig sabihin, kapag meron kang sign ng negative something, yung negative mo, pwede mo siyang i-pull out sa labas. Yun yung sinasabi ng identity na to. Okay. So, rewrite ko lang. Negative sine theta. How about tangent negative theta? This is negative, This is sine negative theta over cosine negative theta, which is sine negative theta, negative sine theta. At ito, pwede mong disregard na lang yung negative kasi cosine naman. Which is negative sine theta over cos theta is tangent theta. So, ibig sabihin, pwede mo rin daw i-pull out yung negative kay tangent. And you can derive the others using that method. So, secant negative theta is secant theta, yung reciprocal ni cosine. Cosecant negative theta is negative cosecant theta. And finally, cotangent negative theta is negative cotangent theta. Okay, so for these two, yung negative sa cosine tsaka sa secant, kapag may negative doon, pwede mong alisin na lang yung negative. You still get the same value. But for the rest, sine, tangent, cosecant, cotangent, yung negative, kailangan mong i-pull out sa labas. And diba meron tayong diniscuss before, kapag yung f of negative x is equal to negative f of x, f of negative x equal to f of x. Okay, in the first case, ang tawag natin dyan even function, diba? Yung pwede mo disregard mo lang yung negative ganun. So, these two, cosine and secant, are even functions. Okay, so ito yung dating even function, odd function. So, these two are, so cosine and secant are even function. At anong sabi natin, when yung graph, an even function, the graph is symmetric with respect to the y-axis. Kapag odd function naman, The rest are odd function, symmetric about the origin yung graph. So these four are odd functions. So odd functions. Ano itsura nun? Kapag ginraph mo sa xy plane yung odd function. So kung may point ka dito, may point isa dito. So may point ka dito, may point ka dito. So parang ganun. Okay. Gets. Kaya ang sine, ano ba itsura ni sine function? Odd function yun, diba? Sige, tangent na para madali i-draw. Something pa ganyan. Tapos umuulit lang. How about si sine? Symmetric siya about the origin. Point na to. Okay. So, let's see. Example na ba agad? Actually, super dali lang na example dito. Pampaano lang. And pampadali ng computation actually. What is sine negative 60 degrees? Uy, may negative. Pwede ko i-pull out sa labas. What is sine 60 degrees? That is square root of 3 over 2. So, sine negative 60 degrees is negative square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so next naman, we will derive the cofunction identities. Hindi nyo mapapansin, parang sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant. Actually, may mga relationship yun. Okay, so yung unang relationship, ano kaya ang sine pi over 2 minus theta? So, gamitin natin ang identity ito, si sin, cos, cosine. So, this is sine pi over 2 cosine theta minus cos, cos, sin, cos, cos, sin. And cosine pi over 2 is 0. So, wala na to. Sine pi over 2 is 1. So, the answer here is cosine theta. Yes. Okay. And you can do the same for cosine pi over 2 minus theta. You get sine theta. So, parang ang sinasabi lang yan, kung ang sum nung angles, kapag, tawag dito, kapag kinuha mo yung complement nito, which is yung 90 degrees or pi over 2 minus this, you get theta, tapos cosine. So, example, cosine 43 degrees is equal to sine. Get the complement, 90 degrees minus 43 degrees. Okay? And ano kaya yung sa tangent? Hindi sa tangent, pi over 2 minus theta is cotangent theta. Cotangent pi over 2 minus theta is tangent theta. And yung huling-huli, secant pi over 2 minus theta is cosecant theta. Huli, cosecant pi over 2 minus theta is secant theta. Okay, so yan yung negative angle identities and cofunction identities. So, gawa lang tayo ng very quick examples using the cofunction identities. Isang quick example tsaka isang nice to know example. Okay. What is tangent pi over 2 minus theta given theta in quadrant 3 and Ay, hindi na pala kailangan. Binigay na pala natin. Theta is in quadrant. So, sabi natin, tangent pi over 2 minus theta is... Ay, wala pala tayong binigay na sign. Let's say sin theta is equal to quadrant 3. Dapat negative. Negative. Let's say negative 1 lang. So, this is cotangent theta, which is cosine theta over sine theta. So, may sine na tayo. Let's compute for cosine. Cosine squared theta is equal to 1 minus sine squared theta. 1 minus sine squared is 1/4. So, this is 3/4. So, square root is plus minus square root of 3 over 2. Take the square root of both sides. So, theta in quadrant 3 cosine theta must be negative. Okay? Okay. So, cosine theta, negative square root of 3 over 2. Sine theta is negative 1/2. Okay, negative si cosine kasi theta is in quadrant 3. So, the answer is square root of 3. Yay! Next example, yung nice to know example natin. Yes po. Okay, so find the value of evaluate tangent 1 degrees, tangent 2 degrees, tangent 3 degrees up to tangent 87 degrees, tangent 88 degrees, tangent 89 degrees. So, this is a nice to know question. So, kung mapapansin nyo, yung mga angle na to, sum 90, 90, 90. So, let's group them together. Tangent 2 degrees, tangent 88 degrees, tangent 3 degrees, tangent 87 degrees, hanggang umabot sa, ano yung gitna? Ang gitna nila is, ito. Ang gitna is 45 degrees. Ay, hindi nyo pala nakikita. Ayan, kita nyo na. Okay. So, papansinin nyo, kapag kinuha mo yung, dito tayo, pag kinuha mo yung complement nito, which is 90 minus theta, this is 90 degrees, magiging cotangent. So, itong part na ito, cotangent 1 degrees, cotangent 2 degrees, cotangent 3 degrees, lahat ng may ka-partner. Ayan, tignan nyo, same angle, tapos tangent, cotangent, reciprocals. So, ang value nito is 1 times 1 times 1. And tangent 45 is also 1. So, 1 times 1 times 1 up to here is 1. So, the answer is 1. Yay! And that ends our lecture or our mini talk on negative angle identities and cofunction identities. Ito, totoo na talaga. Sa next episode natin, half angle na. Okay? See you. Bye!